Hello everyone, this is Waldorf.
And this is Statler.
And continuing our tactics and tips conversation
Series.
conversation,
Rambling.
rambling. Anyway, today, this time we're going to go into shielded charges.
And this is basically, you can run into situations where you can either protect your unit sometimes from fire, or you can fool opponents who aren't good opponents, but who don't realize that you can do a double charge on them.
Yep. So here we have an example of, we've got a Orc and Goblin turn, we've got the Gnasher Herd, and we've got our Boar Boys facing a Grail Knight unit, and even a Trebuchet thrown in there.
Yes.
For good measure. So what we want to do is we want to get the Gnashers on the Grail Knights. But
Correct.
Because of the Boar Boys, we cannot do that.
And we don't necessarily want the Boar Boys fighting the Grail Knights at the same time.
Correct. So you can see, because we can measure, we can definitely see them.
Because we've poked out a little bit on the side.
Correct. We can technically even see over the Boar Boys.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they're both the same height, but we can definitely see them. So what we've done is we've charged the Boar Boys off to the left into the Trebuchet, clearing a path for our Gnashers to come in and charge them.
And they charge it and they make contact, maximizing.
Contact and maximize, and there should be, 5, I think. Anyway, yes, 5 should be in contact.
Yes.
3 in the front, 1 in each corner. Mm-hmm. So there you have it. So there's one possibility. We can also back up, and
again,
we want to clear out some more room because we want to hit them further to the left. So the Boar Boys, of course, hit the Trebuchet, which I think we might have talked about in a different video.
See our video on charging War Machines.
Yes. Decide to charge the War Machine off further to the left, thereby creating more room for these.
Right.
You're still only getting 5 in. It's just all about where you end up.
Right. Just you're a little farther over.
So let's say, for instance, so those two options. Let's say, for instance, you want to minimize the number of units in models in contact.
So I want to charge them, but I actually want to tie them up for a while. I don't want all those attacks hitting me on the first turn.
So charge the Boar Boys in. This time they charge more towards the center. They could have even gone further to the right of the Trebuchet.
Correct.
And now when the Gnashers come in, you can see
only one's in contact.
They can only get 1 into contact. This way, you're bringing a charge with your 3 ranks, and only limited to a single file of Grail Knights that are hitting you. Of course, you're only hitting them with a single file.
Right.
But because of your static combat res, you're hoping to stick around for a while.
So pay no attention to the units that we chose for these examples and their relative combat effectiveness.
Right.
But
actually, this is probably not a terrible idea even at this one, because they're gonna be tied up for a round.
They're gonna be tied for a round. Yes.
So just an example there. Moving back, now we'll put it pretty much in the same situation, except it's the Grail Knight's turn, the Kingdom of Aquitaine turn. Some opponents might think that their Boar Boys
are shielding
the Gnashers,
and shielding their character that's behind them.
The Boar Boys, the Grail Knights have the choice of just slamming straight ahead into the Grail Knights into the Boar Boys, or they could just completely bypass the Boar Boys and clip the corner of the Gnashers.
Now it looks like the two units are right next to each other, but they're not.
They're not. You can see they're actually side by side.
Which they shouldn't be.
What's that? No, they can be.
Just because of the wheel angle.
Oh, correct. They should have been
a little bit over, yes.
The Grail Knight should have been more to the left, because the wheel would have caused them to clear them.
Right.
But, again, they're charging past the unit of Boar Boys into the...
And then assuming they win, and then the Nash units actually ran, they'd actually run away, and you could actually then pursue them and hit that character back.
The Nash unit disappears in that case. But
if it was a regular unit.
The regular unit would run, yes.
And then you would actually pursue into that character back there.
If they ran, you would pursue into the character, correct.
Yeah.
Yep. Just a quick thing on a couple options here. You have here. Again, because of... You can see it's not much of a wheel to get to clear this corner, but they should be a little bit further.
They should have been slightly over,
just to correct that.
Mhm.
Anyway, all right. Quick.
Just, yeah, look out for those
Oncoming.
opportunities to, sneak out from behind your covering units. Maybe you've got a unit out front to minimize missile fire or for other purposes, and also look for opportunities for people. Maybe they've stacked up and they think they're safe, but they're not, especially
Right.
for somebody running around the backfield that you can pursue into.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Till next time.